Hi and welcome to this video where today I'm going to be putting the Godox V480 flash through its paces in this beautiful white town in Spain. I'm going to be spending the day here on location, just giving you some real scenarios of this flash in action. I've been testing this flash out now just for the last few weeks and I really want to share my experiences of this flash. I'll go through the build quality, the functions, and then show you the different scenarios. I'll put these into chapters, so if there's any specific requirement that you want to look at, just look at the chapters down below and jump straight to that section. First thing to notice in this budget-friendly flash is the build quality. It's really excellent build, and it mounts to the camera very strongly with a safety catch. It has full tilt shift, as you would expect on the head, and also rotation, so you can bounce off whatever surface you require. It also has a built-in diffuser which you can pull out. It has an incredibly clear LCD panel which you can adjust, and you're just touch sensitive, so I can switch to mode, manual, now through the lens metering. And you can also slide adjustments +3 to -3. It has a drop-down menu and a little bit more on some of these capabilities later. So as you can see, super easy to use. I've got it on zoom auto at the moment, but you can set the zoom as required. It also has full Godox sender and receiver capabilities so that you can actually use this as either a slave or a master flash when using multiple flash setups. Now, I don't actually have multiple sender receiver flashes for this demo, but what I do have is a smaller Godox IT20. So what I'll do is show you how I can get this flash triggered with this one on one of the scenarios that I'll be talking through today. What I'm not going to do in this video is walk you through every single menu option that's available. There's a lot to this flash. What I really want to do is show you my experiences and how you can use this on location to capture images. So without further ado, let's go and find ourselves some scenarios in which to use this. And what I will be doing is staying here until sunset, so we get a real spectrum of what this flash is capable with throughout the whole day. And as I present the scenarios, please check out the affiliate link below if it's a flash that you're interested in purchasing. It is a link that will cost you no more, but it really goes a long way to help support the channel. So here's my first scenario that I want to capture. I've got this rose in front of me, and as you can see, the trees rise up, and above us towers an amazing Moorish fort from about the 12th, 13th century, I believe this one is. And we've got here the flowers. If we come back down, the flowers are in the shade. So what I want to do is use the flash to balance it out. And what I'll do in these scenarios, in each of them, is show you the images without the flash and then with the flash, so you can see the real impacts that the flash has and the benefits that it brings to the photography. And what we can see from this first image is if we want to recover the shadows in the image of the flowers, then we actually need to do quite a lot of post-processing. But here we can see with the flash, it really does bring out the detail. This one is captured without the diffuser, and you can see the defined lines really bringing out the texture in the flower. And then this one is taken with the diffuser on, and it just softens those defined lines. So we're getting some great detail within the flower in front of the actual Moorish castle. And here on the back streets, we've got a scene of desolation. Just let me sort out my camera. We've got the steps leading up, followed by the bush overgrowing it, the dereliction of the building itself. But what we've got here is a really high contrast image. Now, typically people may get you to exposure bracket this, but what we've got is a really white spot at the top, if we can see that, and then we've got the dark shadows down on the steps down below. So what I'm going to do is use the flash to fill in this dark space. So that allows me to bring the exposure down and capture it all in camera. So in this first image, you can see how the whites are completely blown out on the building to get any detail in the foreground. But what we've also got now in this image, we've got the entire range of the image captured brilliantly. We've got the blue of the sky, the detail in the actually derelict building, and then the steps leading up to it. This demonstrates a fantastic use of the flash in this kind of scenario. So here behind me, you can see that I've got a really high contrast image. I've got a white wall with a shadow cast by the light stand and the flowers in the foreground. So in the first image, you can see that we've got the detail in the flowers, but the wall is completely blown out. In this image, you can see we've got the detail in the wall, but the flowers are now in shadow. So to resolve this on location, I used the flash, and you can see now that this has captured this image absolutely brilliantly without us having to merge and exposure blend images. And you may actually want to use the flash explicitly to drown out, to create a high key image. So here I've got some flowers, some bougainvilleas that are on a wall. The first image is without the flash. The second image is using the flash to really give us that high key image that we're after whilst exposing for the flowers. And I've just found this most amazing tunnel. It's quite long. You can probably see down to the end where it's extremely bright where the sun is, so it's quite dark in the tunnel. Now the contrast is about as strong as you're going to get. A white wall with the sun on it and a dark tunnel. So what I've done, I've floor mounted the flash because I've detached it. And what I've done, I've put the little Godox IT20 on my actual camera. So what I've done, I've set up the V480 to trigger when it receives another flash. Let me just quickly show you how I set up the Godox to trigger from another flash. Switch the Godox on, pull down, you can see it's got photo cell at the top. What I do is, by default, it is off. To get it to trigger, I set it to S1. So when another flash flashes, it will actually trigger as well. I've got then both the IT20 illuminating it, and I've got the V480 illuminating the tunnel. All I need now is to be very patient and just wait for somebody to come down that doesn't mind being in one of my photographs. So I'm going to be patient now. I'm going to do this with and without a gel. I'm just going to pick blue just as an example of how you can actually put gels on the front of this as well, which I've purchased from Amazon. All of the links I'll put down in the description below for you to click on. And in this series of images within the tunnel, we've first got the image as captured with no light at all. You can see how dark the tunnel is and the overexposure at the end. And when using the flash, we can illuminate the tunnel, creating a layered effect. And we've got the highlighting of the leading lines leading us through and correctly exposing the end of the tunnel as well. And here's a different angle, just showing it in landscape mode, whereas the previous one was portrait. And here's the same portrait orientation image, but this time capturing somebody walking through and freezing the motion and a demonstration of how the flash can be utilised. And in this one, we use the gel, and you can see the effect that it created, illuminating the tunnel with the blue, and then we've got the orange at the end, and thus the person standing in the tunnel, just giving us a little extra item of interest at the end. And here's the same effect, but this time we've got somebody walking through the tunnel, capturing them and positioning the shadow really nicely against the side of the tunnel wall. So whilst I'm waiting for sunset, let's just get a few pros and cons of the V480 covered. First of all, the pros. It's extremely powerful, and the TTL metering is spot on in my experience. Just do minor adjustments up and down for actually just making those fine detail adjustments, or maybe like the high key example that I gave. And the menu system is extremely intuitive and so easy to use, which is why I haven't really gone into massive detail on this. If you do acquire this, then you would just go through the menu structure, and it's then just a question of practicing with the actual camera to get the best effect that you want. And hopefully some of the examples I've shown today are a starter for 10. It has great battery life. I believe it's 450 plus. I'm never going to need to recharge this battery on a daily shoot for my usage. And overall, the value for money is outstanding. Are there any negatives? Potentially it's not weather sealed, so if you are out in really heavy rain, that could be an influencing factor. And it could potentially be perceived as a little bit bulky for some of the really small mirrorless cameras, but I'm using it on a Canon R7, and it is really, really well balanced when in use. And for me, it's an absolutely perfect flash for my use. And hopefully you've seen the same too in the images and the scenarios I've displayed today. Okay, I'm going to now just wait for some sunset images. I'll share those in a second and how I shot those as well using the Godox V480 flash. Remember to check out the links below, and if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments section below. I always respond to all comments. And remember, if you found this useful, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and also follow the affiliate links in the description if you're interested in the flash, because it goes a long way to support the channel. And I've come just down the coast now, ready for sunset. You can see behind me the sun is pretty low in the sky, but what I've done is come down to the coastal area from the White Town. But I've got this palm in front of me, quite a low level palm, but the backlighting is superb. I'm going to fire off a couple of really quick test shots with the flash now, and then get ready for the sunset, which should be in about half an hour, over the Magicom video, just after these quick practice shots. And here's my first practice shots. This is the one with no flash assigned, and there's the one with the flash. You can see how it's really allowed us to pick up the detail in the palm with the backlighting of the sun. So all I want now is a little bit more colour in the sky. The sun is just starting to set now behind the tree, over the sea, down the coastline. I'm going to catch a series of images here just to really show the power of this flash. And hopefully this video has made sense throughout the series of examples that I've given you today. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and check out the link below. And here are the final images from the sunset on what has been a great day. And what I especially like about these images is the ability of the flash to balance the sunlight colours in the background with the foreground detail without silhouetting. Now don't get me wrong, I do like a good silhouette, but sometimes you really need to bring out that detail, and the flash really allows us to bring the detail out in the foreground and give us that great lighting of the sunset in the background. What a great contribution a flash can make to landscape photography, street photography, whatever kind of photography you like. And this flash, I could not recommend it highly enough. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and also check out these videos next. Thank you very much for your time in watching this video, and remember to pick up that camera, get out and get some practice. That is what photography is all about. And until next time, thank you and see you soon.